Trim up the truth, get a fresh new view. Broadway Barbers bringing it to you. From Carlton's High, we make it smart. The Lone Star Report with a brand new start.
Good morning, people. I hope you had a great weekend. I know I did. So I like to talk about a few things. This past weekend, I don't know how many people were down here. It's not that there was a lot of people or not a lot of people. What it is that what they do for these events, all right? And what I'm referring to is, let's see if I can say this without sounding childish. Okay, so on Saturday they had a winter program down here, like Santa Claus on the square, and they had some vendors out there, people who made homemade type arts and crafts, and they were out there selling their crafts. I don't have a complaint about that. What I have a complaint about is that from 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the morning until about 3 in the afternoon, when it kicks off, everything's closed. They block off the freaking streets down here. And this isn't a major event. This is quite a small event compared to something like, let's say, the Texas Food Fest, or the last one we just had, which was the Switchyard Festival. Those are big events. Those take, there's a lot of people coming here in those events, right? And they got vendors up and down the street. Well, here, they didn't have no vendors on the street down here. They just had the square. And they blocked off the roads for businesses. They blocked off the streets like this was going to be some big daggum event. And it was a small event compared to all the other ones that we have down here. So my complaint is that you close off these streets down here on a Saturday, people, on a Saturday, right? This event could have been taking place on a Sunday when there's no businesses that are open down here probably, and it would have caused less heartache. But for me, it left me with a big heartache, because I come to work and I come through the backside over here and the roads are blocked. I'm like, what in the hell? What's going on? Because I didn't even realize that there was an event going on. And I realized that when it was an event, so I went and parked my car underneath over there by the bridge, right? So from 7 o'clock till about 3 p.m., there's nobody walking around out here. There's nothing happening out there on the square. And they block people from coming in here who want to go to the businesses. I'm a barber. People were coming down here and turning around and leaving because there was no way for them to get down here unless they parked the car somewhere and walked down here. Let's admit, let's be very honest about things, okay? And when it gets cold outside and you have to walk a couple of blocks to get into the town, and nobody wants to do that. It's cold. I don't like doing that. All right? But you shut down the downtown area here, for a small little event, which there was not a lot of people. At 4 o'clock when I was leaving here, somewhere around 4:30, almost 5, there was some people out there finally. All right, and that was at 4 o'clock. But from that whole time, this was an empty downtown. There wasn't nobody down here, Mr. Steve Babbitt. You closed my damn streets down here My customers can't get in here. And the ones that did were mostly the younger ones who were in good health and they could walk down here. And even they didn't like that idea. So instead of having a nice busy Saturday where I could actually make some money, because that is my only day that gets busy, other than a Friday sometimes, but mostly on Saturdays, you took that away. I expect that on a thing like the Switchyard Festival or Tex Fest, when those are big events. But for arts and crafts, you blocked the streets, you kept people from coming down here who normally would be down here on a Saturday just for arts and crafts. Santa Claus made an appearance, I hope. I don't know. I left. So, yeah. I appreciate you taking money out of my pocket, the money that I need to pay my bills. As it is, I don't charge a lot for the business that I do. And I'm not complaining about it. I'm not trying to sound like I'm complaining and that I'm so angry. Because I'm not angry. I'm angry at the fact that you closed these streets for such a small event. They could have had the event just blocked up around the square where nobody could have drove through there, and you would have had access just to go around and park in this area. But no, you blocked off the whole downtown for a itty bitty small arts and crafts event. I think that was pointless. All right. I think you need to give me funding, pay me back for the money that I lost, okay? I think it's horrible that you treat businesses like this. You have no concern or respect for the business owners down here. Steve Babbitt, you don't know shit, all right? You don't know nothing about business, or else you wouldn't be blocking off a street when you could have just blocked off the square. But you blocked off all the entrances into downtown for an arts and craft festival. Okay? Businesses suffered a lot. We suffer, these big events like the Switchyard and Tex Fest. Businesses don't make money on those things. That's collateral damage for us, because we got all these vendors blocking our shops and stores that nobody can come in here. All right, but we understand it's for the community. It's all for community, and so the community does well. The vendors that come down here, they do excellent business. They make tons of money on those days. But the local shop owners, all right, we get left out of making any kind of money to pay our bills, because it's for the community. I go along with all that. I put up with it for the last 6 years, and I understand, okay, we want people from the other areas to come down here and see downtown Carrollton. Hey, I get it. And I understand that. But you really put a hurt on businesses who are trying to pay for their business. And you don't respect that at all. You don't give that any consideration whatsoever about blocking off access to downtown and the local businesses down here. I'm not the only one that feels this way. Almost everybody out here feels the same exact way. But I'm the only one who's saying it. So that's going to probably make me look like I'm such a crappy old man trying to start trouble. Farthest thing from the truth. I'm just a concerned business owner that needs to take care of his business and pay the bills of my creditors like everybody else. See, I don't get paid by the hour. Everything I do, the business pays for everything, right? I don't get a paycheck out of my business. My business is my paycheck. All right? So, let me just say this. I'm not a crotchety old man. And I'm not your enemy. But I'm an emotional individual. I get affected, my family gets affected when I cannot produce like I need to. Like, I'm not trying to be a millionaire. I've always stated that. I don't want to be a millionaire. I just want to be able to pay my bills. But when you block the streets, you make it harder for me to maintain the ability, the funding that I need to pay off my creditors. So I'm not trying to be an asshole. I might look like one, but I ain't trying to be one. It just happens like that. You know, so please don't block off my streets down here if you don't have to. An arts and craft venue, you could have blocked off just the square area and that would have sufficed. People were having a hard time trying to get down here. I'd get a phone call and I'd have to tell them, I said, if you come down here, you need to be aware that downtown is closed off for an event down here. And they said, oh, well, maybe I have to forego that and make another time. You know, see, I'm honest with people. I tell them straight up because I don't want them to have to come down here and search for a parking place and then have to walk from that under the bridge area or wherever they park to come down here and the wind's blowing and they get cold. What happens if by chance they get sick just because they came to see me? Hey, I appreciate that they would actually get sick just to come and see me. Damn, that would be great. But that's not what I want. What I want, all right, is my customers to be able to come and show up without having to walk all the way around everywhere in the wind, in the cold, right? Just because of arts and crafts. So, I guess that's the end of my little rant. Let me get on to something else. All right. Y'all know that the football season is coming to a close pretty much. We are now into the playoffs, the CFP playoffs. And you know where I stand already. You know I'm a Georgia Bulldog. So I'm kind of happy that we stomped the snot right out of Alabama. Of course, didn't expect them to be kicked out because you shouldn't be punished if you're already in a playoff and then you go to a championship series, all right, and you lose. you're already in the playoffs. You shouldn't be punished for losing a game in the championship, like the SEC championship. So I don't believe that anybody who's in a championship game should be punished or be thrown out of their position. All right, I was going to Indiana beat Ohio. All right, we should knock Ohio out of the top 4 just because they lost, right? And they didn't. And at the same time, we've got college that don't even play in the championship game at all, and they're just waiting on the sidelines, healing their players while we're out there bashing our heads together. It's like Notre Dame. People are angry that Notre Dame didn't get in over Miami. Well, you lost to Miami, and you're not even in a conference. You're an independent. Notre Dame gets away with everything, and they're not even in a conference. So everybody else is out playing in championships, and Notre Dame, till he walks around like little fairies. Look at me, I get to wait. And you didn't get in because you lost to Miami. And they had Miami behind you, which was stupid. They should have had Miami ahead of Notre Dame, and none of this garbage would have been happening. And then Notre Dame saying, well, if we can't get into the CFP, we ain't playing no bowl game. That's childish. You didn't deserve to get in. And those piddly ass teams like the ACC and stuff, we had to have spots to make for them. We had to, even though their records, like Brigham Young, like BYU. What the hell? What is theirs? Like an 8-5 or something like that? They got, and they're going to be, they want to get into the CFP with an 8-5 record? That shouldn't happen. That's ridiculous. But anyway, enough of that. Just going to say this. Oklahoma's going to play Alabama again. Alabama's got a hard thing. They just lost in the SEC championship. They got their butts kicked, got injured players. Now they got to play Oklahoma again in Oklahoma. And Oklahoma's going to rock their world again. But I know Alabama. I know that they're injured. And I know that they're going to come back swinging hard. And I tell you, as a Georgia fan, I don't want Alabama in there because I know that Alabama has the ability and the talent to take it all the way, regardless of who they got to play again. So with all, I hope Oklahoma would take it to them again. You've beat them twice. Beat them one more time. Get Alabama out. Be done with it. That's what I'm hoping. And that would mean Oklahoma would play Indiana or Ohio. No, you play Indiana. You're going to be probably Oklahoma play Indiana. I'm not sure who Georgia's supposed to get, but it's going to be a good playoff. It's going to be some good, exciting games. I like to see somebody take out Ohio. I wouldn't mind Oklahoma beating Indiana. That's another SEC team. Be SEC championship, right? Quite frankly, the other conferences are all worthless, honestly. I mean, yeah, there's been, it's like the Irish. They haven't played anybody, really. They really haven't played. Their schedule, their strength of schedule is subpar. Everybody knows that if you play in the SEC, you're going to be playing somebody that's rock solid. I mean, let's go, okay, Texas. They really are good. They didn't do too well this year. But next year they're going to be a handful because that young quarterback, Arch Manning, he's going to know this game better and the system. And he's going to do great next year. So that's going to be a load. Oklahoma is going to get stacked next year. So there's another good team right there. You already know Alabama is going to be stacked. We already know Georgia is going to be stacked. Ohio doesn't have nobody to play. There's no competition for Ohio to play. So they're going to be listed as number one. Indiana, they're good. I don't know how good because they haven't really played anybody solid. They beat Ohio. I got to give them credit for that. They beat Ohio. Hallelujah. I like that idea. Texas Tech. My hat's off to Texas Tech. Who would have thought that Texas Tech would be where they are right now? Number 4 seed in the top 4 of the playoffs. Man, who would have thunk it? Huh? Texas Tech? But I got some fans around here, my customers in fact, who are Texas Tech people. And you have to admit, they put on a good game. They really played good. I wouldn't count them out. Indiana's got a great quarterback, Heisman style. Texas Tech has a great quarterback, Heisman style. You know, so they got something going on. Indiana. Who would have thought that they'd be where they are? But there they are. So it's going to be a good game. Whoever plays into the championship or gets to the champ is going to earn their way to it. Because you got to go through some good teams. Those 4 top teams: Indiana, Ohio, Georgia, Texas Tech. They've all earned it. And we just seen Georgia earn where they are at. We just beat the holy snot out of. They didn't even gain 3 rushing yards. -3. They got a -3. Alabama? Holy crap. Since when does that happen? But they did. That's where they are. And I've talked enough football. I just wanted to say thank you guys for everything. Y'all have a glorious day and an even better Merry Christmas. Bye, people.